Live. Let me add Gavin here. And we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Progress Report here on iHypocrite. I'm live with Gavin McInnes. Leonarda, she gave me the thumbs up like 10 minutes ago, so I'm sure she'll be here any second. Well, she gave me it at some point in the last hour anyway. Gavin, are you there, sir? Can you hear me? You're muted, actually. We can't hear you now. Still muted. Uh-oh. We did a test. What's going on? We did a test before we went live and I could hear you, and now I cannot hear you. Maybe check your StreamYard settings. Make sure you got the right audio device in your, if you go into StreamYard audio settings, audio, make sure you got the right input in there. I don't know, it can change maybe sometimes weirdly. Leave and then come back. You could try that too. Yeah, you could try that too. So great. It was working. Like we tried like 10 minutes ago. And he was like, I don't know, man. Sometimes I have problems. All right, let's see if this works. Hello. I hear you. Yes. Excellent.
Now, is it good quality sound, or is it going to sound like it does when I'm on InfoWars and it's all garbled?
Sounds top notch to me. What do you guys say in the chat?
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Abel was I saw Elba.
Yeah, they're saying it's like the voice of an angel. It's like hearing a choir of cherubs is what they're saying. So I think we're good to go. Although I don't know where Leonarda is. I'll just text her again.
They're basically black.
How are you doing, sir? It's been a minute since I got to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm good. We just survived a brutal ice storm where we had to shovel the driveway twice and the whole city shut down here in New York. But otherwise, this was all normal Canadian stuff for me. I couldn't believe the way everyone reacted. Right. They even got Tuesday morning off. My kids' school.
Oh, okay. So the snowstorm was on Monday and they got Tuesday off?
Snowstorm was all Sunday. And yes, there was a normal amount of winter snow. And then Monday, apocalypse, no papers delivered, no garbage collection, no school. And then Tuesday, school didn't start till 11 because fucking snow is made of AIDS and we better run and hide.
And you were in Toronto in Canada mostly, is that right? Or
where I grew up?
Yeah. Because I grew up in Saskatchewan. I'm from Saskatchewan, so we had bad winters.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's another world over there. Where in Saskatchewan?
Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
Is that near?
That's where I grew up.
What's the big town in Saskatchewan?
You got Saskatoon and Regina are the two big ones.
Right.
And
Regina, a very unfortunate name for a city. No, I moved from Ottawa to Montreal when I was 18, and then I spent 10 years there, left 18 to 28. Wait, no. What the fuck's going on with my brain? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I only lived in Montreal for 6 years? No. I left. What am I talking about? I moved to New York City in the 90s when I was like 28. So yeah, I lived there for 10 years. So I always say Ottawa and Montreal. I never lived in Toronto or anywhere else in Canada.
Got it. Okay, yeah. Oh, here we go. I was in Montreal for 2 years as well, and their winters are maybe not as bad as Sask, but it's no slouching. It's a very cold, humid winter there in Montreal. So it's...
Dude, the snow is 13 feet high. So you'll be walking on the sidewalk. The road is only 2 feet from you, but you can't see it. There's this long wall of China that goes along the sidewalk. It would take you like about 5 minutes to get ready to go out, and then you'd get to the bar and you'd put all your shit on the chair, and then when you stood up, the chair would go back because it's got like a 400-pound parka on it.
Leonarda, hello. Thank you for being
Hey,
here.
can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm late because I was being a woman, so
Right.
thank you.
Getting ready, probably.
You were being ethnic. You were being visible minority.
No, if I was being visible minority, I still wouldn't be in here for another 10 minutes. So.
Okay.
All right, well, the gang's all here. So listen, I got some video clips. I want to bounce off you guys, see if you have any thoughts on them. The first one going into this, I want to make sure we're kind of on the same page, or that you guys maybe. So we had the big story, of course, is these ICE shootings. You have this Renee Good woman and this Alex Pretty guy more recently. Now, my initial take was kind of like, you probably shouldn't be out there trying to go to war with federal agents. You should probably be like, I don't know, at home with your kids, or just doing like literally anything else. So I didn't lose a lot of sleep over these deaths. You know, I'm not saying it's great that it happened, but it wasn't really, you know, I was surprised by some of the takes I saw, because you had people like Richard Spencer saying this is murder, and Dad Bilzerian, you know, this is murder, this is fascism. So I want to make sure, I want to see if you guys are having any kind of weird reaction like that or anything before we get to the first.
No, I think those guys are indistinguishable from the people you're trying to deport, who are here to rape and murder your children. So if you're defending rapists and murderers, like seriously, like if there was some guy who I knew was trying to come into my house to rape my children, and another guy starts getting in my way of doing what I need to do to that guy, I'm getting you both. That's how that's going to go.
That's a good
There's no
point,
question.
Yeah, it is bizarre the way that they reacted. And even, I know it wasn't the most perfect kill in the world. It wasn't like a home invader and then you shot him when he came in the case of Alex Pretty. But if you're doing parkour and you jump onto a wall and they haven't maintained the wall very well and it crumbles and you fall back and smash your head and you break your back, whatever, you're the one doing parkour. It's a stupid sport. It's not their fault for not maintaining the wall. So you went into a fray with cops, and we learned today that he's been doing this for a while now. He got fired from his job for being weird. He's got mental issues. He is joining some cult. His parents were worried about him, and they were begging him not to go to these things. He's kicking it at ICE cars 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
And yeah, he wasn't pointing a gun at a cop, but you brought a gun to this kerfuffle for the second time. I don't know. It fell out. They got it out. They hear gun. They hear a bang. And the part of the wall that should have been maintained wasn't maintained. And he got shot.
Yeah.
The way the left is treating it like an execution. And then you got the DA in fucking, where was he? Jersey City or somewhere, talking about, look at this picture. And he's showing an AI picture of an execution. Bring a gun to a fight with law enforcement and then expect everything to go perfectly. Sorry.
Okay,
you know,
good.
Whether you're innocent or not, you're guilty.
Good. So I was on the same page. I used to agree with all of that, and then I saw something that made me think of it in a different way, and I wanted to bounce this off you guys and see if maybe this would impact your take on it at all. So this is my first video here.
Sean, why can't I see the video?
Renee, you were driving away.
Oh my God.
Renee, you were protecting, fleeing, caring, being, doing no harm. Renee, I wish you'd driven away. May we all drive away.
What do you guys think?
Oh my God. So just so when all the women are back to being sex slaves and just birthing people, and they're not allowed to even speak up against people who want to impregnate them, we're going to show this video and be like, this is why. This was the result of letting you guys have opinions. And so now you have no opinions. That's how this is going to go.
Yeah, they are totally incapable of nuance. She may have been trying to drive away. That's one of the theories floating around. She also may have been plowing straight forward into the cop. You tend to have erratic steering when you've been shot in the fucking chest. So we don't know if she was trying to drive away. But the way that all these libs are talking to their friends of 20 years and their brothers and their parents right now, it's like, if you don't think that Renee was trying to drive away, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
Like, they've just made up their. I think it's because they're new to this shit generally. So they just go, I know what it is. This is about good versus evil. And if you are not on my side, you're on the side of evil. The end. Fuck you. Drive away.
But the whole point of the left is to cut people off from their families. You know, I was on the left, and I know
what it is. This is about good versus evil.
To find out why my family was racist, homophobe, backwards. Just a reason to cut them off. You know? The whole point. And my family hasn't really changed. They still piss me off. But since I've come over to this side, I'm like, it's not that important. These little things that we disagree about are not that important, because if we were down in the trenches, I would have no question. If you're the one who had my back, I would have no question whether you're going to shoot me. This woman, I'd be like, she might shoot me because I said the N-word one time or something.
And she would totally convert to whatever the terrorists were. Like if they were Muslim, she would convert to Islam. If they were Christian fundamentalists, she'd convert to that. She'd be anyone's dog for a bone. They don't have the courage of their convictions is the problem with them. But it's funny you say that about cutting everyone out, because that's how you define a cult. A cult is defined as you can't be friends with people who are not in the cult. Scientology is a cult because if your son leaves Scientology, you can't talk to your son ever again. And we're not like that. If you're not Christian and you're gay, we go, things are not looking good for you in the afterlife, just so you know. But I'm not one to judge. The big guy's going to handle that. We'll still talk to you. But if you fuck up, if you're not in Scientology, you're dead to them. And that's proof that they're in a cult.
Yeah. Leonarda, what do you think of this? What if women only had read privileges on the internet, and like we took away posting privileges? They couldn't. Would you take one for the team? No.
No. I would take a lot for the team. I think we should make women illiterate again. I don't think it has.
We shouldn't even teach them how to read.
Let me say this. I actually think we should make a lot of people illiterate. I think it's a huge mistake to try to educate most people. I think there is a small segment of women who should be educated because they're going to raise your children. And if you educate them in the right way, they're not going to turn into whatever this is. But most people have been educated beyond their capabilities, and now they have a degree for their stupidity, and they think it like validates them. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of having to pretend that these people are my equal in any sense of the word. I'm tired of having to have conversations with them. I'm tired of having to like talk about what they're doing. Literally, my solution is old school Albanian, start beating people with a stick. That's it. That's the only way.
Based.
May we all drive.
And may we all drive away. What else do we got here?
That woman, by the way, that woman is educated. She probably has 3 different degrees. So
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, in basket weaving. Yeah.
ICE agent that thinks they're gonna come into my home,
African American studies,
and terrorize me and my family. You will be met with lethal force. I will kill on sight, and I will shoot to kill if need be. ICE agents are not allowed in my home. If you come into my home to terrorize my family, I will see you as a threat, and I will kill you. Because you guys are terrorists.
You know, I don't know if you guys know Andrew Wilson. He was on Joe Rogan today, and I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I heard one of the things they talked about on the show is that the reason you have so much craziness on the left is because they pander to the mentally ill. They don't like target the mentally ill, and it's a lot easier to get somebody with who's kind of crazy to do violent stuff. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's worse than that. I think that this guy probably has CP on his like laptop, and he's a goblin. He's a literal goblin. Like in the Middle Ages, they would have threw this guy down a well to end whatever curse they have over them.
Yeah, he wouldn't in Sparta. He wouldn't have done so well, from what I understand.
I think that they're appealing to the criminal class beyond that, because what you'll find is all of these people who are left aligned, who are like supposedly BLM, supposedly standing up for the minorities who are not privileged and don't have any rights, all of them have some kind of moral degeneracy going on. And they've worked out a calculation in their brain that if we can get no laws applied to these groups, eventually I'll be able to go do whatever degenerate behavior I want to do also. So it's all self-interested behavior of a group that literally wants to rape kids, essentially, is what it all comes down to. And that's why they're fighting so hard, supposedly for Black lives or gay rights or these minorities. No, they're not upset that these people are raping kids because they want to rape kids.
I think that's definitely true. I think another simpler element to it is they just want to get their numbers up. Like the Catholic Church with the Knights of Columbus, they made it very easy to become a Knight of Columbus, whereas before you had to fight hard to get up the various degrees. The NHL, I think, and the NFL, the reason they do all this gay shit is because they want to get more seats, more asses in seats. And the left has always had this winning strategy of everyone comes in, we got to get our numbers up. I don't care if they're illegals. I don't care if they're child rapists. I don't care if they're murderers. They help our numbers, let them in. And that they have this massive wide net with no checks and balances. And it makes for total immorality. It makes for the destruction of the West. It makes for low trust societies. But it is a winning philosophy of just taking everyone in. And you end up with like this disgusting jambalaya of miscreants and pigs where darkness can hide. Like Patton Oswalt, for example, he was on the right, or at least he was near the center. And then he did a bunch of stand-up about how awesome opioids are and how easy it is to get pharmaceuticals. And then his wife OD'd on them. And he thought, I got to pick a side here. He chose the left and became Trump derangement syndrome patient number one, because you can have possibly led to your wife's murder, your wife's death, and they'll take you in. So he chose that side because they'll accept potential murderers. It's safer there. Like right-wing art, you have to be able to draw a hand and do a landscape. Left-wing art, you just put a tampon in a teacup and you get a PhD from Pratt. So I think that the left it attracts fucking weirdos like the guy we just saw because they don't have standards, and unfortunately, it does lead to a lot of power in politics.
What do you guys think of? I'm sure you both heard about the way they photoshopped Alex Pretty to be less ugly and dysgenic looking, and I guess it's kind of obvious, but everybody's saying, you know, the problem is even leftoids know that they don't really feel enough empathy for ugly people. It's kind of funny at the end of the day that still matters so much, even when you claim to be tolerant and not superficial, etc.
Yeah, didn't Sam Hyde say, "Thank God Irina Zarutsky was hot, because if she wasn't,
Right.
Nobody would have cared."
Right.
It was an added level of loss because you're like, this is a person with beautiful genetics, and it's gone.
Yeah,
it's the person and what they could produce.
Look at Che Guevara. He murdered fags to the tune of hundreds. Blacks, he hated blacks, but he was gorgeous. So he's on every T-shirt and he represents socialism. Then you got Norman Borlaug, who's an ugly bald guy who helped develop rice that saved 1 billion lives. Oh no, corn. I think it was rice or corn. It saved 1 billion lives. He's ugly, so he's not on any T-shirts. No one knows who Norman Borlaug is.
Well, we now know that was a huge mistake. Huge mistake.
It made too many Southeast Asians.
Way too many.
Yeah. And there's a tweet going around today too of a scientist somewhere with he had a birth defect. I don't know if you guys saw this. He had his face was all red and he cured pancreatic cancer in mice. And everybody on Twitter is just making fun of him. And it's like, you can literally cure cancer. And if you're ugly, that's all anybody's going to talk about.
Yeah,
really
totally.
Brutal. Okay, let's see what else we got here.
Degradation. ये लिखा था the Illustrated London News ने Indians के बारे में. But did you know how filthy and dirty Victorian England was?
This is episode 8 of 10.
Then में एक term था called night soil, which meant that people used to throw raw human waste on the streets at night because sewage systems did not exist. Raw sewage from thousands of homes flowed into the river Thames, the same river that people used for drinking water. 1858, the stench from the river was so bad that the parliament had to shut down. और इसे the Great Stink कहा गया. For the Victorians, a weekly bath was considered more than sufficient. In fact, some even thought that too much bathing was unhealthy. Doctors
Speaking of South Asians, did you guys know that they invented hygiene and white people are disgusting?
You know, if that's true, then it's even worse for them that they're in the condition they're in. They really have no excuse. It's like, this was your culture, so why have you totally abandoned it to become the filth mongrels that you are?
I'm going to go on a limb and say it's not true. I'm not a history
not
expert.
Every time I see a Southeast Asian person open their mouth, I'm like, I'm about to hear some major fucking bullshit. There's going to be some lie coming out of your mouth. And honestly, once again, all of these problems could be solved with a big stick. That's all I'm saying.
You know, Mercedes Carrera, the porn star who's in jail now, falsely accused, she brought up a good point where she goes, colonization was the worst thing we could have done to those people. It was like giving an 8-year-old a Lamborghini. They weren't ready for medicine. They weren't ready for infrastructure. They weren't ready for all this. So they overbred. And now you have rivers of garbage and you have dead bodies floating down the Yangtze. Is that the river they have over there? Ganges.
The Ganges, which is their holy river, by the way.
Yeah. They're sitting there bathing and praying, and like a hand is just floating by. So if we had never touched them, they would have grown at a normal rate, and they might have one road by now and half a train, which is about all they're equipped to handle. But
you know what's funny? Gavin? That's the prime directive from Star Trek, which shitlibs love that show. They love that show. The prime directive is that you cannot interfere with a civilization that doesn't have the warp drive or whatever. If they haven't invented the warp drive, you can't make even contact with them.
I agree. We should have burned down all of the hospitals and ripped up all the railroads when we left there, because it was too good for them. And what's weird about her whole argument is that she goes, I know we're disgusting and I'm walking around with my fucking feet in rotten shit water, but Britain used to be gross too 200 years ago. Yep. And you're like, yeah, I know. We improved. By the way, when we were throwing our sewage into the Thames, you didn't know what a river was. Like, you didn't have a fucking culture. You were garbage. You're still worshiping a fucking blue elephant. So you have to go back hundreds of years to make us look as shitty as you. That's not a winning argument.
Oh boy.
Let's see what else we got.
I mean,
here.
I have a solution, but it's going to get your channel banned. So
yeah, that's we'll just use our imagination.
Yeah.
White women harass black women by just existing.
Oh.
I said what I said. White women, your presence is harassing. Your smug look is harassing. Your victimization is harassing. Your inability to succeed on social media, then targeting black women in an effort to help your success is harassing. Everything about y'all is harassing. You understand? The fact that you jump into our conversation about hair, harassing. Leave us.
Jump into their conversation about hair. Is that it? That's a new one. That's the complaint now. What's crazy? This is a new video, right? So Renee Good got shot just trying to get an echo sometimes. She got shot trying to protect these Somalis in Mogadishu over there, and they just don't care. They couldn't care less. Oh, we lost Leonarda.
I'll bet my life that woman we just saw. Actually, I shouldn't bet my life. I'll bet $10,000 that the woman we just saw grew up with her white mom. Her black dad was not around. And those are the most militant blacks, is the mulattoes who go to college and their friends are disappointed that their only black friend acts too white. So she goes, wait, don't dump me. I'll become Malcolm X. Then she gets the dreads.
Real.
The only authentically black thing about that woman was her insane forehead that went, I think, to about here. But the rest of her is just white, and she was feigning a black accent. So she'd have perfect grammar, and then she would be like, "What you want, what y'all?" But then the rest of the words were perfect. She grew up white, and she hates herself for it because it's fashionable.
Yep. I remember when black people used to try to pretend like they were white, and we've changed the culture. So the lowest common denominator is the thing that gets all the attention. This woman is probably like 80% white DNA. That's what's so funny. So I'm going to be like, yo, if you really feel that way, like, why don't you go ahead and like take care of 80% of yourself? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pay your other 20% reparations.
Yeah.
That's so funny, Gavin. You're so like, that's like the most accurate analysis I've ever heard of anything. You're totally right
But
about
it's not
that.
just blacks. Like if you're Native American and you go to college and you're like, hi, I like Hootie and the Blowfish. And they're like, can you get feather earrings, please? Because I want my Indian friend to be like American Indian Movement militant. So to get more friends, they go, hello, my name is Maggie Longclaws, and I fuck the white man. And they're like, yay, we have an Indian friend. They all ham
it's
it up.
especially true when they're mixed, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Funny.
Yeah, but it's like they have something to prove, you know. But also, all her shit is bullshit, dude. All I have to listen to all day is black women, and I have to pretend like one of them is going to say something interesting that the others haven't said every single day for the last 70 years. It's like nothing new's coming out of your mouth. White people is racist. I'm fat because of racism. Give me my reparations. Black women built everything. I got to listen to all this, and I have to literally watch other white women give them a like, okay, just don't say anything because she's going to kill you. I got to watch them do that all day, right? And we all have to pretend that she said something valuable, because if you don't, she's going to chimp out and burn everything down. I'm frankly tired of it.
Pretty much the only time I've heard black women sound intelligent and make me think is when they're saying racist shit about blacks, and they're saying they're sick of their own community and they're sick of their own people. That's the only time she sounds brave and interesting, and maybe that's my own prejudice, but that is
the only time she is brave and interesting, because she's now going against 90% of her tribe. She's leaving 90% of her tribe, which means she's really risking huge attacks. Yeah. And she's telling the truth, which is always interesting and brave, especially in this day and age.
You reminded me of what Ann Coulter once said. She goes, our blacks are better than their blacks. And of course, MSNBC and the left was like, does Ann know that we don't have slavery anymore? She thought that they were implying that Ann thought we literally owned black people who agree with us. But her point was, if you're black and conservative, or even just black and not a violent anti-white racist, you're getting hammered on Thanksgiving. You're getting hammered every time you call your mom. You don't have to call your dad. You're getting hammered by your siblings. You're not invited to Christmas. Your white friends are disappointed in you for not being the Malcolm X friend they want to have. And that your arguments get honed to a diamond tip after that. And you end up knowing your shit. Whereas if you're black and left wing and you hate whites, you don't get any mental exercise because everyone agrees with you.
There's a black girl on Twitter called Ray Valentina. I might have to try to get her on the show, but she drops a lot of N-bombs, so I'll have to maybe ask her to
I was talking about. I think that's who I meant when I said that earlier.
Yeah, she said that Renee Good died because she was an N-word lover. And it was, I don't know if you know that one scene from Amadeus where the other guy, Salieri or whatever, he's reading the score and he drops it and he's like in ecstasy. He can't believe how good it is. That's how I felt watching Ray Valentina say Renee Good was an N-word lover. I was like, wow, how does she do it? How does she come up with this stuff? All right, let's see what else we got here.
Grandpa was a racist, and when I was 17 years old, my mom told him that he better get over it because his granddaughter was likely going to marry a black person. My grandfather disowned me. He did not speak to me again until the day that he died, but he forgot to write me out of the will, and I got $5,000. Here is to breaking generational curses and fuck racism.
Do you guys have this well channel on Instagram?
Yep.
Okay, I love this. So what he does is he plays these Instagram videos and then he scrolls and finds like a different video, and that's what he's gonna do here.
I am the survivor of domestic violence in a marriage that lasted 5 years. I've had 2 protective orders against my abuser.
Oh, well. Wait! There's more!
The pedophile who ruined my childhood is spending 30 years in prison.
Oh.
Oh, well.
Okay, so just for anybody who couldn't follow that, basically she was saying her grandpa was racist, but he did leave her $5,000 in the will, so that was like a big L for grandpa. And then it showed that she was stat raped, but she had like a adult black boyfriend when she was 14, who I don't know if that's the same black that she married. This part wasn't super clear, but she married a black guy as well, and then he was like a domestic abuser. She's like a domestic abuse survivor. And the other guy, or the same guy, was in jail for stat rape, maybe. That was basically what happened there.
But her grandfather was racist. What an idiot he was.
Yeah.
What hunch to have.
What an idiot.
Imagine thinking $5,000 is like a W. Like that's where you got to be like, dude, what is it like? What is going on with these people? Like, what kind of life, what level are you living on?
Yeah. I like to think the racist grandpa was like a millionaire. She didn't really specify that part, but I like to in my own head canon. He was like totally loaded, and he gave her like chump change, and she was like, haha, he forgot to write me out of the will.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like there was a reason, and you're talking to somebody who grew up in the time of post-racism and accepted all that or whatever, and now we're coming to this place and we're going, oh, there's a reason that our grandparents were like this, and they weren't the dummies. Like, and here's the thing: she's had this experience now where her statutory rapist was black, her domestic abuser was black, she's burning and being a victim. But you can't reconcile that with why your grandpa maybe wanted you to avoid that. You can't put these two things together. What's going on?
Yeah. $5,000 is a ton of money if you're homeless.
That's true.
That's like a lot of bottles of booze.
Or if you date black guys who never pay for anything, sure. It's a lot of money.
I wouldn't say no to a $5,000 super chat if anybody wants to flex on the poors right now. Yeah, it's not. It's really, it's better than a kick in the nuts. That's for sure.
This is a message from my mom.
Okay.
If I am executed by ICE officers today, it will not be because of anything that I did. I want you to know a couple things. First, I don't carry weapons on me. Second, I won't be holding any signs. There will be no indication from me that I'm a violent person or a threat to anyone. I do not plan on following anyone. I do not plan on screaming or shouting or even speaking to anyone. I am there to observe and document. This is a historical moment for me in my lifetime, for the state of Minnesota, and no matter what the outcome is, I believe it deserves to be documented.
Literally just let them do their job. They're enforcing the law. Just let them do it. What's funny is there's been like almost no stories of illegals getting killed by ICE. I think there was like 1 or 2 shootings that were not fatal that I recall. But they're acting like they have to like put themselves in between the ice and the or like there's going to be like a bunch of like summary executions they have to get on their cell phone camera, and the only thing that's actually happening is these libtards are getting shot for getting too much in the way. It's kind of ironic a little bit.
These people think they're in Star Wars, They're like, we're fighting the Nazis. We're gonna be those Germans who stood up against the Nazis. History's gonna remember us. History's not gonna remember you because you don't have any kids. Number one, okay. If you happen to win, history's not gonna remember you because America will be a bunch of brown hordes who are gonna forget how to read and write in just a couple generations. So nobody's gonna have anything to remember you by. And if you lose, we're going to remember you for being a fucking retard, and we're going to show our children these videos and go, this is what happens when you let women vote, and we will never make this mistake again. Do we understand, kids? That's what's going to happen.
Have you noticed, by the way, in this discussion so far, we've all talked about ourselves, maybe 1% of the things we've said, and 100% of these people's rants are me. I'm in Minnesota. I did a bunch of me search, and if I die, then I'm not violent, and me. The whole thing is, it might be childlessness, it might be daddy issues, but their entire movement is based on themselves.
It's main character syndrome. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. She said this is a historical moment for me. Like they have I'd be interested, LP, to find out. She probably doesn't have kids. It's probably guaranteed she doesn't have kids.
I couldn't say it. The weird thing is Renee, you would have thought that about Renee Good, but she had.
Yeah, but she was on her. She did the arc that I saw New York women doing for a long time. And even when I was like more left leaning, I knew it was wrong. I'd see these women who are in my circle come in, and then they would all of a sudden start. First of all, what they would do is they would start sleeping around, right? They would start sleeping around, and then all of a sudden they're coming in there and talking about how men suck and men are assholes, right? Because they're sleeping around and they're thinking that's how they're going to get these men to commit to them. So they're sleeping around, then the men are assholes, and then it becomes progressive, and then they start complaining about the kind of men who want them, because when you sleep around a bunch and you lower your stats, like quality men don't want you, but the simps are willing to take anything. So now you start complaining about how horrible those guys are, and why won't they just leave you alone? And until all of a sudden it becomes a full-blown anti-masculine rage, and then 2 weeks later you're like, so I'm in a lesbian relationship for the first time in my life at 43, and you're like, yeah. That's not normal. Like nobody becomes a lesbian at 43 years old. Like that just doesn't happen. And here's the chaser. 2 weeks after that, they'll come in complaining about their lesbian relationship. So who was the problem?
Yeah, you usually are done being a lesbian by your 43. They call it lesbian bed death. But she gave birth to a bunch of kids. She didn't have a bunch of kids.
She had one, I believe. They had.
Yeah, the other two were already taken.
Yeah, the state had taken them away, and that one that was left was being transitioned. So she was even abusing the one that Child Protective Services allowed her to have. So she's not exactly mommy of the year.
Yeah, Gavin, I gotta ask, like some of this. So I didn't hear that the kid was being transitioned, and I also didn't hear that Alex Pretty had been fired from his nursing job. But I'm wondering if you vet this stuff, or you just like read it on Twitter and then throw it out there.
I feel pretty good about the hospital letting him go because he was acting weird. I'll give that a 8.4 out of 10 of sureness. And then as far as the transitioning of the kid, that's a theory that a guy sent me, because he said he swears he heard the name listed as male and then it became female soon after. But these are theories. It's a fact that she's not mother of the year, or as wife describes herself, best mommy in town.
Yes. Yeah, her two kids were taken had custody with the father, and then I think this kid that she had custody with, I think his dad was dead actually, and it's the grandparents who were appealing for custody.
Ugh.
Real winner.
The lesbian had been abusing the kid and putting out cigarettes on them. Which is not the first time I've heard that story.
I tried to verify that one, and I wasn't able to actually. People were saying that maybe, but definitely not. We can all agree, not mom of the year. All right, let's see what else we got here. Who knows what these crazy women are doing? They're all on antidepressants and that. They're just not with it.
Well, hold on. I think we just had a little bit of a revelation here. You can be childless and have children.
Yes, I think you're right there.
True.
Yes.
All these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit. Is a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the words? No! Jesus would dine with immigrants. Do not touch me. Touch me again and see what happens.
Hey, you can't.
You are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity? Where are you? You're sinners. You're pretending to be Christians. But we know you live an easy life, don't you? A very easy life while people are starving. Shame. Out now. Out now.
Wow.
Just this is why I think everybody should go to church armed, because that's complete Bolshevikism right there.
Who was wearing the pastor? Maybe had a suit on. Everyone was dressed pretty casually, and you're not rich if you have a fucking suit on, Duncan Trussell.
Has nothing to do with that, man. You can just see, but this is the same old story that's been happening since the invention of Marxism. It's pure envious rage and resentment. They have projected an idea about what these people symbolize. You notice he took the camera away. There was like a Latino. He's talking about all these white people in here are comfortable, and then the camera turns and there's clearly a Latino, so he flips it back to the white people. Yeah. There was a few Asians in there, and they're trying to talk about this being white supremacy. All of this that we're seeing, like these people, first of all, if they were fully in charge, would 100% have closed the doors, lit in that church on fire with those people in there, and then said that they deserved it. That's what we're dealing with. And it's a demonic envy and hatred of the good. That's it. That's what it is.
It is demonic. And what was it? The Marxists love attacking religion because they know it provides cohesion on the right. It was the Spanish Revolution where they dug up those nuns.
Yeah.
And then paraded them around town laughing.
Spanish Civil War, yeah.
That's right, the Spanish Civil War.
I think probably a suit does seem really luxurious if you spend all your money on your crippling drug addiction all the time. If you're used to all your money getting spent on like fentanyl or meth or whatever it is, then probably a guy with a suit seems like he's got it pretty good.
Yeah, he talks about how he was a combat veteran who was dismissed. He was discharged because he doesn't like authority. No, he was never in combat. That was a lie. He was some bureaucrat who was fired for incompetence.
What, this guy, this guy with the beard that we're talking about here?
It's stolen valor. He's giving other soldiers shit for not being in combat like he was, which is a lie. A lot of people think he's a Fed because he's just so on the nose.
You're talking about the guy that we were just watching?
Yeah, the Duncan Trussell voiced guy.
Oh, I didn't even know who that was.
Oh, he's in every video, at every news thing. He's doing little home seminars on TikTok about how they're coming to arrest him. He's just a little too perfect for a douchebag.
I'd like to see them try that at a synagogue or a mosque and see how it goes over.
Yeah. Well, synagogues get all the funding for religious protection. You know, we have this whole federal funds to protect places of worship, and I think it's some crazy amount that goes to synagogues and some very tiny amount that goes to churches, even though there are less synagogues than churches. So let's see how that goes.
But synagogues do get disproportionately attacked.
Probably.
Do they?
Maybe.
Yeah,
we've
like 2 shootings this
year.
You
mean, synagogues get disproportionately attacked by their own rabbis. That's true. Absolutely.
No, I was talking about shootings.
Was there actually shootings this year? I don't even. Oh, there was one in like the UK. Now that you say that,
5. We had the shooting in Dallas, and then DC. No one ever attacks a mosque. Oh no, there was a mosque in where was that? New Zealand. Yeah, that's about it for mosques.
That was after all the Muslim killings, and then some guy finally just said, fuck it, I'm gonna let one rip.
Yeah, there was one in Canada too, actually, a long time ago.
Well, Canada has a lot of Christian churches being attacked, and there's no investigation.
Right.
The previous Prime Minister Justin Trudeau all but encouraged it, and we still don't know what the fuck that was about. It could have been Antifa, it could have been Muslims. Those are really the only two options, or it could have been both. But that was all over the country a couple years ago, and the media was not remotely interested in it.
Yeah, they're getting burned down. You're right. Speaking of Canada, I got a hot music video out of Canada for you guys. Check this out.
No 2 cream, 1 sugar, only double. Everything bagel toasted. What do you want it? What do you need it? What do you need it? What do you want it? What do you want it? Everything bagel toasted, cream cheese, tomato, salt and pepper. Tim Horton, what do you want it? Can I get a large black coffee, please? Medium, double. Anything else? No, I said coffee and a cream cheese bagel. Pretty please, that coffee was black. Can you not hear me? Unsure. I hear you now. Medium black coffee, everything bagel, toasted cream cheese. Yeah. Medium, double.
You guys aren't feeling this?
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Super funny.
Yeah.
It's a good accent.
What you wanted, what you needed. Is that how they say it?
Dude, we're at the point now where you hear about a catastrophe and it's Pajeets killing Pajeets, or some other immigrant, like that 18-wheeler that jackknifed recently and killed a family of 4. You're like, oh my God. Then they show the family of 4. They're all from Haiti.
Right.
Yeah.
Saw some video recently of some disgusting ghetto black woman who's just an absolute 70 IQ retard. She takes off on the cops. She's driving through relatively residential little town, and she must be going 90 miles an hour. She completely obliterates some boy and his 80-year-old father. And then you see them, and they're like weird Indonesian somethings, or like you hear about this incompetence and how it's killing Americans, and then you see the Americans, and you're like, wait, you're immigrants too.
Yeah, at this point, I think we should just make a Hunger Games of immigrants, and it'll be like everybody gets their weapon of choice. So the Sikhs will get a bunch of trucks. The Haitians will be told that there's cats on those trucks.
Yeah, the machetes.
And then the Indians, we just let them keep their shit and just like
they throw shit.
Yeah,
and
just let them go at each other, man. That's what I say.
Dude, I was just up in Ottawa this weekend, and I don't think I saw more than 5 white people, especially at like McDonald's off the highway, like Sikhs, Chinese. There's no white people left in Canada, and you can see it starting here too.
Yeah, I remember the first time I noticed demographic replacement. I didn't even know what the words were for it. And I was still like a lefty where I thought like, oh, everything's fine, right? But I remember I went to this small town upstate New York, and I just walked down Main Street, and I noticed that all the shops on Main Street were like little tiendas run by Mexicans, and they looked like shit. And it looked like it could have been straight out of Mexico. And I remember just having this deep sadness hit in the pit of my stomach. And I kind of just tried to shove it away because I was like, I didn't understand what I was feeling or why I should even feel that way. It's kind of like, well, why would that be upsetting, But I think really the truth about why I shoved it away was because I probably felt so helpless to do anything about it. And so you just feel like, well, you just got to accept it. But it was really sad, really tragic.
I saw some TikTok video recently about some woman going, I don't care about white people becoming a minority or even being replaced because I'm not a white supremacist. And I thought, okay, now say the same thing about blacks. What if the black population was going down from 14% to 2%? What if the Asian population in America was all about to disappear? Would you have the same attitude because you're not a Chinese supremacist or a black supremacist? It's the only race that you're allowed to hate. I mean, I know it's a cliche at this point, but it's annoying.
I think some of the most like radicalizing videos for me is like when I just see like videos of high schools from the 80s or whatever, and everyone's white, and you're just like, and they're all smiling, and there's kind of like a sort of optimism and a sort of American optimism that you used to see. That I don't know. I just see that and I just feel like you kind of feel what you're missing, and what your kids are going to be missing.
My video the other day in Chicago, I was in Chicago, and it looked like it was like 1985 or something. And the news crew was like, "What happened here?" And this guy's like, these guys were handing out anti-white propaganda.
Yeah, I saw
and
that. I saw in Chicago.
Like your dad's friend. And he was like, and so we beat them up. And then there's a kid just sitting on a stoop, and he's wearing a white construction helmet, no shirt on, and it says white power on it.
Yeah.
How unthinkable would that be today? Like unfathomable.
Yeah, because we said all those guys were racists and they were bad, and then try to get their daughters to marry black guys. It's pathetic, man.
Well, it worked.
Well, not really. White women are the least likely to race mix. There's a lot of propaganda out there because they want everybody to think the situation is hopeless, and women are very consensus driven. So if women think everybody's doing it, then they're just like, all right, we'll do it too. That's what they're trying to manufacture. And thankfully there's a backlash.
So, but what's the majority of race mixing? Is it white men and Asian women?
For white people, I think it is white men, but I think the race most likely to mix out is black men, if I'm not mistaken.
I wonder why.
All right, let's see what else we got here.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy.
We were talking about the racial demographics of the church, and churches just tend to be sort of racially segregated. They're some of the most racially segregated. Like even if you're in a really diverse city, a lot of times you'll go into a church and it's like 95% white people or black or Asian, whatever. So it's even if it was all white people, to be like, oh, you're a bunch of white supremacists. It's like, well, what? We can't just be white. You can't just be white anymore. Go to a white church. They said they were going to arrest Don Lemon, and then they backed off of that. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that they should have tried to go after?
It's bullshit. Yeah, no. He should be facing serious jail time, and that's the nice option. You don't want to know what I would do if I was dictator.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough one because First Amendment, freedom of the press.
No.
Freedom of the press.
Constitution said freedom to worship your God, freedom of religion.
Right.
They prevented that. They prevented them from worshiping their God, and they terrorized the kids. They cornered them in the stairway and said to these crying kids, "Do you know your parents are Nazis?" So they didn't just disturb the sermon; they completely sabotaged it and terrorized the children. They probably won't get in shit for it, but they should. But that woman that you just showed, that weird Lord of the Rings troll, she grew up atheist, but she was surrounded by evangelical Christians, and she just fucking hates them and has decided to make her brand all about growing up around white Christians and how deep-seated their hatred and racism is. It's her entire brand, and it seems to be working for her.
Are you talking about this woman who's Botoxed her whole face? Right
Yeah.
there? Yeah. She's a demon. That's a demon right there. See what I mean? That is a woman who's below mid. Probably on her best day, she was a 4, right? So she's raging mad about beauty and order, and she wants to destroy beauty and order, hoping that if she destroys all beauty and order, she'll become the magic princess. Sorry, bitch, you're still ugly. And Don Lemon actually violated a federal law. It's the FACE Act. He violated 18 USC Code 248, which says you will not it prevents groups of people from banding together with the intention of violating citizens' constitutional rights. It was the KKK Act. It was initially passed to prevent white people from banding together to intimidate blacks from exercising their newly acquired right to vote. But they also included within that any kind of banding together to try and prevent citizens from worshiping at their place of worship. So he 100% committed a violation of the federal law. We have communist Bolshevik judges who are refusing to enforce the law. So even though Harjeet and whatever Pam Bondi tried to bring up charges against him and against others, the communist judges refused to do that. Now, we don't actually have a proper Republican government. We've got a bunch of faggot, woke conservatives who are so afraid of people calling them bad words that they keep just being like, well, we don't like it, but no, faggots, you either do something or you're going to face the wall with them. That's how I feel about this.
Right. Yeah. So his defense was that he was there to document, but I feel like, right, if we got Patriot Front to go storm a synagogue and I went with them to document as a journalist, I have a feeling probably there would have been some charges.
Forget about Patriot Front. Why don't you have Don Lemon go do that in a synagogue? There's Jews who support the deportations. Why don't you go attack their synagogues? Because you would 100% be in jail right now. Your whole career would be ended. You would be debanked. You would be deplatformed. There would be nowhere for you to go.
Yep. Same with the mosque. And remember at the beginning of this, when he's in the parking lot, he didn't say they're going to do an operation. He said, we are going to do an operation. It's a special operation, and I can't give you the location. He made it very clear in that parking lot before they left that he was part of this, because
he was dressed like a cat burglar or something. Like he had like a weird yeah.
Listen, Don Lemon's like, oh, they don't practice the kind of Christianity I practice. Actually, Don Lemon, you don't practice Christianity. You are a sodomite whose ass probably doesn't work because you've been taking it up the ass for so long and you got to wear a diaper and you worship at the church of Moloch. You're a fucking demon. Yeah, you don't belong to any church. And I can't believe this is how you know that whatever church he got married at was the church of Satan. Because if it was an actual church, he should have burst into flames the minute he walked into that church.
I couldn't agree more, Leonarda.
They're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy.
I know you don't hear this enough, so just in case you didn't hear this yet today, Hawaii is not open to be your playground. Hawaii is not open to be your vacation spot. Hawaii is not open to be your new home, that place where you dive into your mental health journey. Hawaii is not meant to be the place where you start everything over. We are an island with finite resources. And in case you haven't heard it, no, we don't need your tourism dollars. I think it's important for me at least once a year to make an extremely accurate rage bait video like this, because they think we're joking, but we are 100% serious. And if your business is still relying on tourism dollars, I strongly suggest you either reconfigure so that you are not relying on tourism dollars, or you go somewhere else where they do rely on tourism dollars, because that's not us here, honey. Okay.
Yeah. Don't disagree with her. The bull will run you over.
Yeah. What the fuck's she going to do? She's ending tourism for Hawaii. Has she consulted? What was she saying with Hawaii?
Yeah. Hawaii is not, I don't know. What's even so bad about tourism? People come, they spend their money, they leave. What's the big?
It's the best possible economic model. You don't do anything. People come there to exist where you were standing. They leave all their money and then they go home. Yes, please. Sold.
Yeah,
that's why I encourage everybody to go to Albania instead. You will be surrounded by white people who are so happy you're here. They don't have a lot of a great economy, so your money goes really far. They don't resent you because they see you as the superior creatures that you are, and they are aspiring to emulate what you do. And you will not be surrounded by a bunch of dysgenic nons who you want to throw down a well. Beautiful beaches, beautiful countrysides. You can even see the remnants of what happened with communism and understand why you don't want this.
I love that you have an ethnic pride to shill your country and endorse and brag about your country. But I have to be real with you. Albania scares me. I don't know if it's justified. Albanians are scary. Don't they commit like a lot of crime, and they're like, you know.
Yeah, but we don't have those guys in Albania. They're all in like England and France.
Oh,
all the Albanians
all left
doing the crime. It's safer than the West.
They're in the Bronx too. I asked some very bad men about Leonarda, and I'm like, "How do you guys feel about her?" And they're like, "She did marry the not Albanian. We're not happy about that, but she is real deal. And if anyone were to fuck with her, they would die."
Shout out to my Albanian homies. What's up? I'm marrying a Norwegian Swede, so they're usually okay with that because that's an upgrade.
Yeah, it goes up.
Like anything Italian and up, they're okay with. If I married a Greek, they'd be like, no good. No good.
You're no longer under our protection.
Yeah, they'd be like, go tell the Greek faggots to protect you.
Your poor ass.
All right, let's see what else here.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
They start screaming, "You're a fucking fascist." I don't even know the context of this, to be honest, but I love this video. I've watched it like 87 times.
Can't you just get arrested? Like the civil rights bullshit and all these other hippie demonstrations or the sit-ins, at least when they get arrested, they just sit there and they're like, yeah, I'm doing it for the cause. I'm doing it for the environment. This new generation of activists, they tell the cops to fuck off. They do a stupid fox dance. And then when they get busted, they're wriggling around, screaming, fuck you, trying to escape. That's what you signed up for. You went there to get arrested. Get arrested in peace.
I think they're all getting the same. I think they're all going through some kind of training, which tells them to make it as dramatic as possible. Like, I don't think that's an accident. I think they're all, this is all part of it.
It looks ridiculous.
Guys, it fucking happened. The FBI just came to my door. I am fucking shaking right now.
You recording us now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm here because some folks in the public have expressed concerns about some posts made by a TikTok user, Mossy Matriarch.
Okay.
Is that your account?
Yeah.
Okay. So some people have expressed concerns that some of it might be inciting violence.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that? Are you trying to do that?
No.
Do you have any intent on committing violence?
Everything I've tried to post about is like, let's be as peaceful as we fucking can.
Okay.
And that's the stuff I've been trying to encourage and stuff. I am definitely 100% on a list now. We are at the point in this country where if you are exercising free speech, the FBI will show up at your door. I want to make it very fucking clear that.
Is she new? I've been on a list for like 10 years before I even started my social media account. What are you talking about? What a dumb bitch. Also, do you see how like soft and kitteny she is when the FBI is there? You know, she's like, oh, finally a real man. Maybe he'll throw me up against the wall and have his way with me. And then she gets back on the camera. She's all brave and everything. Just like these fucking soy boy bitches who post these videos and then they actually get confronted and they're like, oh, well, I didn't mean anything.
Yeah, they talk about, I got death threats. Bitch, I got death threats. I could put them in a fucking trunk and put them up in the attic. Like, we've been on lists. We've had our homes vandalized. We've been sued. We've been criminally investigated. Death threats. I saw that dummy Zamika or whatever her name is from the fake lawyer from the NAACP who ran for mayor of Minneapolis. She was there, the one that led the operation with Don Lemon. And she pulls out some printout where someone emailed her and called her a dumb bitch. It's like, have you walked down Broadway in New York City any time of the day? Like, dumb bitch? Are you nuts?
Soft. They're soft fucking people. Also, I got death threats from Black people. So I really had something to worry about. And the Mossad was searching my name after my Jew joke went viral. So why don't you just take a fucking, the FBI, the American government that's the most pro-leftist has you on a list? Yeah, because they're probably going to recruit you to a leadership position once the lefties win.
Yeah, it's a job interview is what it is.
What was the Jew joke, if I may ask?
Oh, it's
I
great.
think you've seen it. You might have seen it. Do you want me to just message it to you on a?
I probably have seen it, but I think the audience. Oh, you mean like the video or whatever? Yeah. Well,
yeah. The one where I talk about them getting kicked out of 109 countries.
Yes, actually, I did. I posted that one. Actually, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
What? And the joke is just like basically like maybe it's a you problem. If I
yeah
got it. Okay, so this girl, she, from what I understand, she was posting. She was saying like it's time to do the thing, guys. It's time to go to DC and do the big thing, which everybody knows. She's talking about assassinating Trump again. And so that the FBI showed up. I cut out a lot of the FBI thing because you get the idea. But after they left, she went on to post another video that I'm going to play for you guys.
I am not inciting violence. I'm not organizing violence. I don't know anyone making any plans to assassinate anybody or do any damage to federal property.
Hey guys.
So she posted this after the FBI visited her.
Whatever you do not buy roofing nails and put them in front of ice trucks or ice facility entrances and exits. Don't do that. Don't. Definitely don't put air tags in their cars and follow them around to figure out where they're taking people. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please do not fill water balloons with dog poop, oil, glitter. Don't do that. Don't put boiling water on their windshields in the snow. Definitely do not give them coffee with laxatives. Don't do that.
By the way, I don't want to hijack the show, but the Leonarda's Jew joke is so much better than you might think it's a you thing. It is beautifully constructed. It has got a fantastic twist at the end, and I don't want to allow it to be debased.
I didn't mean to sell it short. Can you just like do the joke?
No, but I can DM it to you. No, don't ever. That's like, you meet a comedian. You're like, tell me a joke. It doesn't work like that.
That's a faux pas. I didn't know that.
That is a faux pas, but I'll DM it to you.
Yeah, that's like you meet a porn star and you're like, hey, can you finger your butthole?
Hold on.
Yeah, comedians are basically prostitutes, and that's a true story. So I don't feel bad about that.
Okay. What else we got here?
But they expressed to me that from your content, they feel like you're attacking the run-of-the-mill working-class Jewish guy.
Working class, what is that? Like they run the banks? Working class
that's
Jew?
the point. No,
that's a joke. But no, but like we're in the working class. We're running the bank. No, but
well, all of us talk.
Silence.
Nick has a good Jew impression.
I missed that part. Sorry, I was trying to DM something.
Oh, did you say? You did. Okay.
Right, yeah, Tim Pool. I mean, come on, man. Tim Pool's not. He was pretty base for a little while, and then shit got real, and all of a sudden he's just everybody else. So
I love the guy, but I love Nick too. Nick seems to be getting away from his anti-Semitism. Maybe he's going for something more mainstream in a sense.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that he's always been actually more moderate than people realize. Because a lot of his like jokes are the stuff that goes around when people are doing hit pieces on him. But I don't think he's ever really been that crazy. And I've followed him a long time, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. Probably he has toned it down a little bit for the music. All right, we got Leonarda's joke here. Let's check this out. I don't know how to full screen on.
Inside job, or do you think it was the Jews? Found out the Jews have been kicked out of 109 countries. That's a lot. At a certain point, you got to ask yourself, why? Was Hitler really rounding them up just because they're mildly annoying and cheap? 109 countries, that's like a woman telling you that all of her ex-boyfriends beat her. At a certain point, you got to ask yourself, maybe she was a Jew. Do you guys think 9/11 was an incident?
Classic.
So I did that joke, and my mother was like,
Sure, when you said the word Jew at the end there, it wrecks the punchline. Like, let Leonarda breathe.
Yeah, but my mother was like, they're going to kill you.
Well, she might not be wrong. I mean,
I don't think she's wrong at all, but she doesn't understand I'm a comedian and I have to talk about everything, or otherwise it's not worth it to me.
And you said Mossad was like searching your name. Was that like the Google Trans Israel
I
thing?
looked at Google Trends. It was like that joke had just gone like re-viral, like it had over like 4 million views. And I was like, let me just see. And it was like, yep, Leonarda Jonie's been searched in Israel. I'm like, oh, great. It's only a matter of time now. I won't be doing any public speaking events. Let's just say that.
Although, Leonarda, I bet there was a lot of Jews looking it up because they think it's fucking hilarious.
I don't think so, Gavin, but that's okay.
I did stand up in Tel Aviv and I said, I was at the Holocaust Museum today. And I mean, you see the shoes and the lists of the names and my God, it's overwhelming. And, to think that Hitler would do that to 320,000 people is just fucking horrific. And they all laughed.
Sure. You got on a list after that too. You just don't realize it, Gavin.
Yeah, they all laughed, and then you got debanked, and they declared you a terrorist organizer.
After that, I made some pro-Trump references, and people started walking out. That was a bridge too far.
Wow.
I thought they loved Trump. I thought they loved Trump over there.
Orthodox and Hasidim do, but not the seculars or not even the normal religious ones. Everyone hates Trump when you leave America. Go to Ireland and tell your taxi driver you voted for Trump. You'll be dropped off in the middle of fucking Kilcarney.
Yeah, but that's because he's going to be like, get out of my car. Get out.
I went to Canada last summer when the tariff stuff was kind of like at its peak. And man, Canadians do not like Trump. And he was talking about like taking over Canada. I was like, come on, you guys, it'd be good for you. No, they didn't want to hear that.
No, you wear a MAGA hat in Canada, and it's a huge deal. It's like wearing a yarmulke in New York City.
Well, that's what wearing a MAGA hat was like in New York in like 2015.
Yes. Yep.
I knew in 2015, I was like, oh yeah, if I were to wear one of those, I'm going to get physically attacked.
You get kicked out of bars regularly. We used to wear them to get kicked out of bars. There was this guy, Jovi Val. He got bottled in the face. He had to have reconstructive surgery for wearing a MAGA hat. And he kind of went mental after that. Now he wears a large swastika medallion around his neck. He overcorrected after that.
Well, some would say he got on the right track. But...
All right, let's go to the next video.
Farmers have officially fucked around and we have officially found the fuck out now, guys. I am on the verge of bankruptcy. I'm on the verge of fucking tears. Overnight, all of my fucking help fled. My help, out of fear for their safety, their lives, they fucking fled. And now I am left out here standing in my unharvested carrot field. It is January and I'm in Kansas, and this is when carrot harvest goes in fucking Kansas. This field should be full of workers, but all my fucking workers left. And who the fuck do you think is to blame for that? Every single one of them left. Now I have to by myself try to fill that truck with a load of fucking carrots in one day, and I can't do that, guys. I have to get these fucking carrots to market by next week or my contract is fucking terminated. This is $936,000 worth of carrots right here, and I can't fucking pick them by myself. If they're unharvested, I will get kicked out of that contract and I will get sued by the fucking Planters Loves Carrots company for that fucking money. But I have nobody that'll come fucking pick my carrots. Fuck, we are so fucking cooked, farmers.
Bro, why are these farmers gay?
He's kidding, though. That's a comedy video, right?
Yes. I didn't know. So I put that in my show, my YCSP, and people, a lot of people in the chat are like, oh, you shouldn't have tried to order slaves and all that. And I went to look it up to prepare for today. I was like, let me look this guy up. He does this. Every video he does is like this. And he's got 1 million followers on TikTok, this guy, because he does this every day. And what happens is he also acts like a Trump supporter. So what happens is leftoids come in and like, you shouldn't have voted Trump, idiot. How you fucked around. Now you're finding out and all this. And then he'll be in the comments going, I can't believe you idiots keep falling for this every time.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah. You don't really hear actual people complaining that much about not being able to have, they keep saying that that's a thing. But you don't. really see
avocados
these
were going
videos.
to become unaffordable, which I'm willing to take that on the chin. I can say goodbye to avocados, but none of that happened.
Right. Well, maybe there's
I
just
think
not enough
automate
deportations.
way out of illegal pickers.
I think, didn't Trump just make some kind of deal where he said farm workers and hotel workers were going to be, given papers or
exempt.
documents?
Yeah, he said that a while ago. So,
Well, Renee Good and Alex Preddy won't even let us deport the ones who rape 11-year-olds. So I don't think we'll have time to get to the lettuce pickers.
True.
Barely get out the fucking murderers.
All right.
Unbelievable.
If I hear of someone whose fashion that I like and I know that they're a person of color, I try to make it a point. But the clothes have to be available. I think we can all do some work to think about that balance in our wardrobes. What does our closet look like and who's in it? Who are we supporting in it?
Right.
Dude, I've seen this video like 3 times, and every time I look at the woman on the right and her forehead, and I'm thinking, this is some kind of horror movie monster, but I can't quite place it.
I missed that.
And you know what's worse?
I was saying the woman on the right, Gavin, with her forehead, she just draws my eyes.
Forehead shame. It's called bangs. Like, you're supposed to want to hide that.
But the thing is that she chose that because she's wearing a wig. So she chose a wig that highlights her forehead.
She's happy with that forehead.
It's like, and black people are not, they don't hold back, man. If something's fucked up about you, they will tell you to your face. They're like, all right, 5-head, coming in here, blinding me with your fucking forehead.
I got it. It just came to it. People are saying like alien and Klingon. You know what it is? It's Alex Murphy from RoboCop. If you ever seen like how his face is like naturally, that's what it is. It's Alex Murphy. So anyway,
you know what's weird about that video? So Mike Obama is talking about how important it is to support the black community economically, and I think most blacks, I don't think they realize they're only 14%. They think they're 50% because every time they turn on the TV, they're 50%. So they assume that they're half the country, and they assume that they own half the golf courses, half the textile industry, half the TV manufacturing companies. You don't. If you look up any black-owned business, you're going to find popcorn is big, various flavors of popcorn. Cupcakes is a thing. And then it's all beauty products, like a lot of hair products, maybe some wigs. That's about it. I remember hearing some Nas, the rapper, song about how, we need to only support black business, drive on black highways, and only buy black cars. And you're like,
black highways.
You don't have cars.
Hey, don't tell them that, Gavin. Let's support that. Actually, let's make it into law in order to help them. You can only drive on roads built by blacks. You can only live in places. You can only shop places built by blacks. We're doing this to help you.
Black smartphones.
Man, I can't stop farting. I've had nothing but popcorn for 3 days now. I've had Cajun. I've had super spicy. I had chocolate. I need some actual food. I'm going fucking nuts out here.
Fuck Michelle Obama, dude. All this stuff that the race war was going on for a long time. People don't realize how long black people have been targeting white people violently because we live in this communist color revolution system that never tells you about it. But a great book to read is Colin Flaherty's White Girl Bleed a Lot.
Yeah.
And what's his name also has got Pete Quinones has got some great coverage where he talks about the takeover of the Department of Education and what happened when they tried to force integration, the amount of violence that was enacted against white teachers and white students that was kept out of the media. This stuff has been going on for a long time, but Obama's made it mainstream. They brought it to the forefront and they made it okay to do this behavior because they really amped up the narrative that somehow innocent blacks were being gunned down, which is like, if you just put just a little bit of logic behind that, If you lived in this white supremacist system that you claim to live in, and you're 14% of the population, and white people just had an agenda where they were trying to kill you, you wouldn't be here. They would have succeeded already.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about the Obamas is they go, let's talk about race because America's super racist and blacks are doing badly because of racism. We were over it before the Obamas. I mean, it definitely lingered, but we had agreed to disagree and move on with our lives. And then it came back up and everyone said, all right, everyone's racist. And then the beauty of sunlight is it's the best disinfectant. We drummed up all this silt out of the bottom of the ground and we went, whoa, wait. It took a long time. Like this was 2008. It took until maybe 2 years ago before we went, wait a minute. No, you didn't invent the traffic light. All of this shit is lies and we've done nothing to cater to you. And from now on, next time you call us racist, we're going to laugh our heads off because we rule quite literally and with good reason. And that, I guess we should thank the Obamas for finally ripping off the Band-Aid and showing us that, you know, Western people built the Western world, the greatest civilization on earth, and white people were a major part of that. Sorry.
They were the whole part of that. You can't go around that. They were the whole part of it. Period. The end.
Yeah.
You picking a few plants under the threat of violence did not build cross-country railways and 100-story buildings. Like, let's just relax.
True, but the beauty of the white influence in Western culture is we were the first ones to say, you know what? We don't care what race you are. Just come here, respect Christianity, work hard, and you're in. No Eastern cultures have ever done that before. We were
right.
To say,
and that's why they can ride their subway safely without threat.
Yeah, it turned out that wasn't the best idea.
Yeah.
Gavin, do you have any thoughts on where this is all headed? Like specifically, I guess the next presidential election. Do you have any predictions, or is it too early for that?
I think it's going to be another Republican. People are seeing that the right is good for the economy. All you have to know about America is the 4 biggest states, right? It's right here, front page of the Post. Everyone is leaving California and New York, and they are going to Texas and Florida. California and New York are disgusting shitholes. You can follow me outside the studio tonight, and you'll see how fucking dangerous the Bronx is. Texas and Florida are thriving, and so people see that they're not blind, and they go, socialism is not working for this country. So we're going to have probably another 8 years after Trump. I think it'll be J.D. Vance, maybe Donald Trump Jr. I'm not sure who his running mate will be, maybe Marco Rubio. But I think we'll have 2 more terms of Republican after Trump. And that might be enough to fix this country. And as far as all this woke shit goes, it's over. Racism is over. The blue hairs are over. And that's good because it starts with cultural ridicule. And then it becomes policy where DEI is not getting the funding it used to get, where these diversity committees don't have the reverence they used to get. And I think that's a bright future for America. I mean, I see it with my teenage kids, this sort of the way they laugh at woke and the way they revere Trump and even Nick Fuentes. And I realized that I'm pretty optimistic about where we're going.
You don't think we're one more ICE execution away from President AOC, like Dave Smith says?
No, I don't. Just like their martyrs are fucking useless, look at their politicians. Like Gavin Newsom is their Fonzarelli, and then they've got Eric Swalwell and Pete Buttigieg and AOC and the retard squad with Ilhan Omar having someone spray apple vinegar on her. Like they're not even in the same universe as us. There's no fucking way Jasmine Crockett is going to be the next president of the United States.
That one, I think you're right. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens over the next couple of years. I still think it's anyone's game. It's too early to tell.
Now, I have researched into this case since the latest event has taken place. And what I found is that individual was sentenced to conditional release. And that conditional
So just for context, she's talking about this guy who shot up a gas station, shot somebody, got shot multiple times and almost died but lived. And they determined at trial that he was not fit, and they like put him back out onto the street. And he recently murdered 3 white dudes. And this is the judge who let him, who ruled that he was not guilty by reason of insanity, which is very rare and usually like, because juries like don't like to do that. But there was no jury in this case. So the judge now is explaining why this guy got let out, who went on to kill 3 people recently.
Release was that he would continue treatment with an outpatient community partner. My understanding is that that treatment was originally costing $7 a month, and that after a period of time, that $7 a month bill went up to $150+ a month.
Okay.
And that the individual was no longer in compliance with his treatment because of inability to pay for that treatment.
Oh. So it's
And
white
now here
people's
we
fault
are
again.
with individuals who need mental health
Sorry about
treatment
that.
and don't have access to that treatment. Bad things happen.
So the moral of the story is it's white people's fault again, right? They
Right.
wouldn't pay for their treatment.
It's
Yeah,
your
it's
fault, you fucking
Republicans'
bitch.
fault,
you,
at
let her
least.
out, you let the guy out. You know, black female judges, by the way, are wildly disproportionately responsible for letting these lunatics back on the street.
It's
And
always a
why do-
black woman. It's every time. It's like a black woman. It's like impossible to not notice.
Black females are what, 7% of the population? Every time I see a courtroom, it's a black woman. When Max and John, the Proud Boys who got 4 years for fighting Antifa, they appealed their decision. It was on the internet because it was fucking COVID. It was a Zoom call. So there was 4 judges on a little screen just like this behind me. One guy was Chinese. He got up in the middle of the appeal and just wandered away. I don't know what happened with him. And then it was these 3 black female judges talking about why white supremacists like Proud Boys should not get an appeal. And I'm like, why are you 75% of the judges in this appeal and you're 7% of the population? I don't get it.
It's the affirmative action. It's the black women, and they're all over government jobs. They're all over these public jobs because they can't get jobs in the private sector. So the government gives them these jobs. It's why you go to the DMV, it's all black women. It's how they raise the sort of median income to make it seem like things are better.
It's, you know how like teachers in public education are worse than charter school teachers because charter school teachers can get fired. So there's some checks and balances in there, whereas public school teachers, they can't be fired. So they're worse. That's just the way checks and balances work. And we have a segment on the show called Useless Black Female Politicians because there's so many of them, and there's so many of them. It's not a racist or a sexist thing, but when you have 2 levels of protection, racism and sexism, incompetence has 2 force fields on it. So you're going to be like Jasmine Crockett. She's untouchable because if you go near her, you're either sexist or racist. That's 2 layers of protection she has on, and that's why they are disproportionately retarded.
The other thing this video makes me think of is, okay, so you have this guy, he's let out because he's insane, and part of his like parole or whatever you call it, he has this obligation to go to treatment, and he stops going to treatment because it's too expensive. So why aren't people sent out to arrest him when he stops showing up to treatment? You know, there's just like no competence in any of these systems, which is why you have these Somali fraudsters and all these billions of dollars. It's like nobody's checking anything.
Well, also just there's this like whole coalition, like this is, again, black women are retarded and black women are double retarded. And they have this idiotic coalition where like they think anybody who's not white is their ally, and they are happy to defend them or unleash them on, because they think they're getting revenge against the white male and his oppressive system, totally ignoring the fact that they are living in a system built by the white male, and the white male is actually trying to boost them up. They think these non-whites are their allies, and they really are retarded because they don't understand. If they think white males are racist, you should go to the Middle East. Go to an Arab country.
Yeah.
Let's go see. Let's go see how if you get a position as a judge there. But it's just like that woman who was like, oh, my grandpa was racist. And then she shows that like the guy who raped her was black and the guy who beat her was black. And she can't put the two thoughts together. She's still not going to put the two thoughts together if she sees how racist Arabs are actually against blacks. And that the only reason she has anything is because she's in a system built by white males. She still won't put it together because the resentment and hatred and envy has completely taken over her heart and her brain. And she's not going to be able to interpret any counter evidence to what she wants to believe out of pure spite.
Yes.
And that's what we're dealing with.
And
I want
that's
to be
what we're
very
dealing
delicate
with.
in how I talk about this because we can never overlook the fact that 3 people are dead. 3 families are grieving. And this is not an opportunity for political discussions.
Let's not make it about politics, guys.
Yeah.
I'm homeless and living out of my car. Hi, I'm Anastasia. For those of you who don't know, I have a 10-month-old son. Yeah, it's tough.
Well, well, well.
Call back.
Well.
It's crazy how many of these videos this guy's able to make, by the way. It's so funny.
Well.
It makes me laugh every time I see the well. Okay. We're on 90 minutes, so we'll do a couple more clips and then we'll do super chats and then we'll call it a day.
Well.
No. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, and you're not paying attention. There's no reason to be driving.
Who are you? And can I see your license?
Why would you see my driver's license? You're the one driving 30 miles an hour through Lowe's.
I want to see where you're from.
Here, Colorado. Yeah. Why, are you fucking racist?
There we go.
Believe I am.
Good. Yeah.
You might add that to your list too.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I'm legal,
sure you
bitch.
will.
I'm fucking legal.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Go.
No,
Go.
he might run out in front of me.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like you were saying, Gavin.
Sorry, what was the well with the previous video? I didn't see her with a black guy or anything.
She's homeless with a black kid living in her car with a black son.
Oh, I couldn't see the kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as
Gotcha.
a kid, yeah. And so it's like that was like you're saying that she said, "Are you racist?" And the old lady, she said, "You better believe I am." And I just I love every time I see somebody just be like, "Yeah, I'm racist." It just makes me smile.
Well, people who aren't racist are saying it now. Like, what's that woman's name? Sarah Good or something? What the fuck's her name? She was on with Ethan. Shit. She did that like versus Sam Cedar. She did that. Sarah Stock.
Right, Sarah Stock, yeah.
And Sam Cedar's like, "Are you a Nazi?" Now, I don't think she's a Nazi. She's not particularly racist. But he goes, "So you sound like a white supremacist." She goes, "Yeah, sure, I am." Like it's people are actually saying they are when they're not, just as a fuck you to that allegation because they're so sick of it being a career canceling accusation.
I think we're going to be hard pressed to find anybody who's actually really not racist.
Yeah, well, it's a subjective thing. It's like Shane Gillis says, "I'm not racist until someone cuts me off in traffic."
Yes, it's a spectrum. Most people are racist, but not in a way that like shit libs think of when they think of a racist.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actual definition. Most people are racist,
right?
Even if they're not like hateful bigots or something.
I would define racism as you can notice a pattern, but when you meet a black guy who likes the Mets and is into 80s punk and has a podcast that's satirical and newsy, you don't eschew him because he's a Negro. You go, "Oh, so what's going on?" Like
That's
say this in
most
culture.
racists, absolutely.
With Charles Murray and Richard Herrnstein, they go, "This book is about millions of people, patterns we've noticed over millions of people. When you meet an individual, you don't apply this to this person. You can notice a pattern and not apply it to every single person. And that's what I think racism is not allowing for exceptions."
Right. But if you see a black guy you don't know and he's got his pants around his ankles coming at you in the dark, maybe you cross the street. Maybe just to be safe, maybe you just cross the street. Maybe you don't make eye contact with the homeless guy either, you know. Okay, speaking of fraud in Somalia,
I don't think it needs to be explained why it's
this is the mayor of Seattle in Somalia. I said this is the mayor of Seattle getting asked because after the Nick Shirley thing happened, people started going to daycares in other places in Seattle and Ohio and so forth, or Idaho, and so the mayor now is getting asked about these perhaps fraudulent daycares in Seattle.
Problematic to have random people showing up to daycares. I think the fear in the Somali community is real. The fear in immigrant communities are real. So we're taking that very seriously.
Along those lines, have you asked anyone to follow up on the fraud claims either to the Department of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs or SPD?
No.
So there's, as far as you're concerned right now, there's no reason to suggest there's any sort of fraud.
This whole issue is not really about fraud, right? It's about dividing and conquering. It's about making an immigrant community a target, right? There's no reason to assume based on the identity of a daycare operator that their small business is doing anything wrong.
Okay, I want to deport every one of those people. I want them to go to Somalia too. I want her to go to Somalia. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Like, no, that's cool. We won't make this immigrant community feel this way. You're going to go live with them in Somalia. And I want you to film everything that's fucking happening, you dumb bitch.
If this is such a dumb rumor and has nothing to do with truth, then why don't you investigate these daycares and show how squeaky clean they are, and we can all feel like dummies for assuming there was any kind of malfeasance. And then you win, right?
Because that's how you're funding the Democratic Party in Minneapolis. These people can't raise money. You think all these immigrants who came there are giving money to the Democratic Party? No. So where's their base? They don't have the base they used to have of actual Americans who would contribute to political parties. Well, they're going to extract it from you through fraud. That's why they're not investigating it.
It's such obvious fraud because like Somali population in Washington is like a couple percent or whatever, but I think don't quote me on this exactly. I think it was 2% of Washington is Somali and 10% of the government funded daycares are Somali. And Somalis it's not like, and they have higher rates of unemployment relative to other demographics. So you don't need daycare if you don't have a job. So why is there 5 times more Somali daycares and what? Like that alone is enough for you to be like, okay, we should probably look into this. They're getting millions and millions of dollars, which the mayor is just like, oh no, we're not going to look at that. Are you crazy?
Can you imagine the garbage they're spending their money on back in Somalia? Like they defrauded us out of billions. I think it was $2 billion. The vast majority of that is sent back to Somalia. They're not building wells with that money. It's Louis Vuitton. I just read about this woman from Kenya who bought so much shit when she was visiting New York that she couldn't fit it in her house. So much designer goods from Harrods. Yeah, that was in London. Sorry.
Yeah, Gavin, they didn't get $2 billion. They probably got a couple of million, and the rest went to.
Yeah.
There's no way. No way. You think these 65 IQ retards are figuring out how to build shell companies?
Yeah. I do have 2 more clips I want to get to because these are like good clips, I think, and then we'll do the super chats.
Names, he's brown, he's gay, whatever. They have nothing to say about how the entire city of Miami mobilized to condemn Nick and all of these other people.
That is a misrepresentation of the critics, of many of the critics of this.
But they misrepresent him.
Let's leave Nick out of it. You can't look at this picture and tell me that Browns have not usurped the white nationalist movement. We're totally infiltrated here, okay? That's the problem I have with this. I don't want to be represented by Andrew Tate, who's half black. I don't want to be represented by Sneeko, who's some like mystery meat guy.
Well, he's a Muslim anyway.
No, this is not, I don't like it.
Who says that they represent us? They don't represent me.
They're representing us to the general public right now because they're affiliated with Nick. And Nick is the so-called leader of the white nationalist movement. Like, that's the problem I have with this. Are we a white? Are we a white movement, or are we not? And the question, and then the answer to this is apparently not. We're not a white movement.
Who's that again? Is that pretty libertarian that she called herself, or like Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beta, blonde, Rebecca Hargraves, I think. I love her, by the way. I love blonde. She's
awesome.
Yeah. But this is, in reference to this whole Clubgate thing where they're playing Hail Hitler in the club. And I just would love to hear what you guys think about, not even necessarily that clip, but just the whole situation in general.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to have proof that Jews do not run the world, we can just take a look at the fact that somebody can play a satirical song in a club and that get banned from every single club in Miami. So
And restaurant,
you guys are ready.
apparently every restaurant too.
Every restaurant, every club, which by the way, if you're still going to clubs and you're still eating out, you're fucking gay, dude. Let's just.
Yeah,
stop.
I thought, I mean, I've said a lot about this on the show. This is just young people being rude. They chose the rudest song, Nigga, Heil Hitler. I grew up punk rock with Peter and the Test Tube Babies being banned from the pubs and Crass being banned from the Roxy and Sid Vicious wearing a swastika shirt, and God Save the Queen was #1 on the charts, but they couldn't write it out, so they just left a blank space. This is what young people do. And the dumbest thing you could do as a Jew would be to take it seriously and ban them from clubs and give it all this credit, because what they're doing is a fuck you, which is what young men should be doing when they're out on the town partying. I think it was very healthy of those kids to be playing that incredibly offensive music.
So Gavin doesn't realize that people who are in a tyrannical position of power do not have a sense of humor. And that's what's going on. These people can't even tolerate. Have you heard of a dictator tolerating a joke about themselves? No.
Yeah, I think I do realize that. That's what I just said, is that these people are humorless and they've banned everyone from all their clubs because they have this totally juvenile view of the world where someone Sieg Heils and they must be out to get me. It's embarrassing.
It's a pathological desire for power and to crush any sign of the human spirit. Precisely the reason that you think it was good, which was it was young men saying fuck you to the world and we're not going to be broken, is precisely the reason that these repercussions were taken on them. They cannot handle that. You can't control the young male spirit full of testosterone and rage.
I get what you're saying, Leonarda. Here's an alternate. It's not much different, but it's a little bit another angle, which is that, like, so I've been thinking about the Jew psyche a lot, and I think what it is they're kind of neurotic, and they have like a genuine fear that everybody wants to kill them. So it's not necessarily just like, oh, I'm gonna crush you because I can. I think there's like a real genuine like paranoia that drives it a little bit, where they think like, oh, if this catches on, I'll be getting put on a box card on a train next week, kind of thing.
But those two things are not mutually exclusive. Whenever you do hold total power, what comes with that is an incredible paranoia that everybody's trying to kill you and overthrow you. And some of it might be founded, right? If you're a dictator, yeah, there's going to be people who want to overthrow you and kill you. I think Gavin's right. I think the stupidest thing to do is to do exactly what they did. I think the smart thing to do would have been to laugh at it and been like, these guys are ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Let's mock them. You go further mocking people than you do trying to crush them. But you're not going to get that.
All right, one more clip.
They're shooting at me. They are shooting at me. Bunch of dogs. Oh, you stupid dogs! What are you doing? Hey, arrest these guys! They're coming for us! They're coming for us! What are you doing?
This is, I don't know if you guys are obsessed as I am and you can instantly recognize his voice, but this is Will Stansel in Minneapolis, going toe to toe with the police and the ICE.
You killed someone, not us! You killed someone! Oh, who gives a crap? I got a gas mask. I don't care. What are you doing? What are you doing?
He's getting out his gas mask. Right. So that is Will Stansel. in Minneapolis. I love this guy. He's our guy. He is a right-wing icon.
He really is. He's a celebrity.
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter, I saw this tweet. They said something like Will Stancil could do like a WillCon, like a convention, and right wingers would show up and like listen to him call them Nazis for an hour just so they could like say it do be like that in their Jamal cosplays.
I'd probably be starstruck if I ever met him. I'd probably be shaking when I went to get my autograph on the Will Stancil 8x10.
Yeah. Okay, you guys want to do some super chats?
Let's do it.
Let's see here. Here we go. Kev Coin sent $20. He said, "Simp bucks for mommy Leonarda." Thank you. The joke is I will be keeping the $20, but thank you. Thank you for the thought. I'm sure Leonarda appreciates it.
Isn't that the way it always goes? Or you put these girls on the chat and then there's some bald white guy behind there getting the money. It's like,
that's right. Never fails. Yeah. Anubis says, thanks to the chat member last week who recorded Crafting Gay Children by Judith Reisman. After you read my super chat essay described how American Library Association has pushed LGBT on kids since the 90s before Drag Queen Story Hour. Crafting Gay Children by Judith Reisman. Okay.
Interesting.
Recommended. Got it. Another YouTube sent $5. Leonarda, come to North Carolina and not that F-slur liberal hellhole Asheville, and skip Charlotte where Zarina was murdered. Come to Riley. Is that how you say it?
Raleigh. Yeah,
Raleigh.
I'm actually working on getting a place there.
I will say now, I had the pleasure of going to Leonarda's show when she came to Washington, and it was very funny and very enjoyable. So you guys should definitely, if you get the chance, go see some comedy. You might even get to do the dating game thing if you're lucky.
I don't always do that every time, so I don't promise it.
Gotcha.
But we did have a fun one in Washington.
Whatever. I won't talk about the show, but it was weird. They didn't check the IDs or anything, or the tickets. No one checked my tickets or my ID.
Well, so first of all, nobody ever knows where my show is unless they have a ticket. So you can't just come there. You couldn't just go to my website and like find where the show was. So but going forward, I do have people actually checking for but none of my fans, like people who buy my tickets, they're not like scammers.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Well, there you go, guys. Just show up. You heard it here first. Just show up.
They can't just show up because they won't know where it is if they don't have a ticket.
All right. K-Max McDonald says, in Leonarda and Gavin's opinion, does Trump back down too often when challenged by the left? When did Biden back down on DEI or open borders or trans stuff?
I think that's like a thing that the right has as a whole as a problem, because the left kind of has this sort of moral high ground that they have just taken for themselves. And they've put us in a position where we have to constantly defend ourselves against these accusations that have become like mortal sins in the national consciousness. So I don't think it's just Trump who does this, right? How many times do you see conservatives, somebody calls them a racist? Oh, I'm not a racist. Or they call them I'm not a homophobe. They have to like constantly be negotiating when we should really be setting the terms.
I think Minneapolis will be a good example of whether he backs down or not, because he maybe wants to preserve the midterms and appease people by not having more dead losers like Pretty and Good. But that'll piss off his base if he kowtows to them. So let's see what he does with Minnesota. It's kind of lose-lose for him. He either gets more optics that the dumb community will use to help themselves in the midterms, or he looks like a pussy and pisses all of us off. I think he's going to stay there for the near future and stand his ground.
By the way, that book, Crafting Gay Children, is very difficult to find. You can't even just do a Google search to find it.
All of those books about that. I have a book called When Harry Became Sally.
Yeah.
It's like $800 on Amazon now. If you can find it.
I will say this about the Trump thing. Like, to me, I don't even know how it's a question at this point. And I'm a retard. I don't know anything. So for me, in my retard armchair quarterback seat, it's like, why haven't you invoked the Insurrection Act and like put like 10,000 libtards in jail? So I'm complete, as far as I'm concerned, he's back down because he didn't send the army in like 2 weeks ago. Like, for me, he's not even close to the level that I would like to see. But I don't know how these things actually work. What do you guys have? Any thoughts on the Insurrection Act? Do you think that would be a bad idea? Do you think
Oh, it'd really fuck them in the midterms. I think what the smart thing to do is give these guys enough rope. Like Renee Good and Alex Pretty looked pretty good an hour after they were killed, and then we find out what fuckheads they are. So
Yep.
I think we let them have a few more terrible martyrs like Breonna Taylor and Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, but the left still doesn't realize that about Breonna Taylor and Trayvon Martin. They still think they were like innocent people. Yeah, I'm probably more extreme than you, LP, because I would be doing a complete, I'd be Franco in the Spanish Civil War right now. I'd be like, yeah, there's no rights for anyone anymore until we get all the fucking communists out, the gays, the hippies, everybody done. They're going to be done.
Yeah.
Take over. It would just be a complete dictator takeover. But
because
then again, I'm Albania,
some judge would be like, sorry, you can't do that.
Yeah, and then that judge is
Your
going
hands
to
are
jail.
tied.
Sorry. Lock up the judges. It would just be complete. Get Eric Prince in there to get rid of every single one of these.
Yes, that's another thing. Insurrection Act, Eric Prince, here's your $25 billion. Let's go.
Get it. Find out what kind of things you can do to get these judges. There's got to be, these judges all have to have some kind of corruption on them. Simple. All right, goodbye. You're done. You're done.
You got my vote, Leonarda. Row House says, what is the difference between white people and Japan? The Japanese just elected a prime minister with no issues, saying we will remain Japanese. These whites in Minnesota cannot allow basic laws to be followed. What happened to us?
Yeah, Japan is more Western than America in many ways. And when I talk about the importance of saving the West, I do include Japan in that. I don't think of them as Eastern.
I think everybody includes Japan.
Yeah.
Well, they've had a national conscience for a long time, right? Like Japanese haven't had the social Marxists taken over their institutions for the last 70 years and telling their children how they should feel bad about being Japanese and bringing in a bunch of third worlders and saying these guys are as Japanese as you are. Like, there's something about an ethnic identity like being Japanese that cannot be as easily subverted as, say, the American identity, which we've been told is, can be anything, anyone.
Okay, Moonman sent $5, and it's like a very racist Fed post that I can't read, but thank you for the $5. Wandering Neanderthal sent 30, says, great show as always, LP. Special thanks to Leonarda for proving even Albanians can be based. Also to Gavin. Aren't Albanians maybe I have my stereotypes all wrong, but aren't they sort of known for being like racist and
Yes. Yeah, so I don't know what he means by even Albanians are super based.
Maybe he means
we do have a level of retardation that's happening amongst the young now too, as the American culture gets exported, where you have these idiots fighting for equality or whatever. But yeah, no, they don't really make any apologies either for it.
Okay, and then he also said for Gavin, can you ask Devin to stop shilling Israel nonstop every video regardless of topic? I miss my censored subscription.
So he's not subscribed?
I think it sounds like he canceled his subscription because AIU's too pro-Israel.
You don't get a vote if you don't pay taxes.
There you go. Okay.
Can we wrap this up soon?
Yes. I mean, if you have to go, you can go. I'm just going through the super chats, but
Give your $5 super chats.
Okay. All right. What do you want to do plugs before you go then? I'm going to stay and read the super chats, but I'll let you get out of here.
Okay, yeah, I've been doing this for 4 hours today. My Twitter is Gavin __ McInnes. Censored.tv is where Compound Censored lives. We had Leonarda Jonie on the as a show for a while, but we couldn't afford her. But yeah, thanks for having me. This was cool. Is this already aired?
It's live, yeah.
Cool. Okay, we'll put it up on our site if I may.
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
All right, thanks. I'm going to go pee. Good seeing you again, Leonarda. Thanks for having
me. Bye, Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin. Appreciate it a lot. Catch you on the flip side. Okay. Okay. Scholarly Musings sent $7. Interesting show to be sure. Thank you for that. Giant Squid sent $5. Leonarda, of all the cities you tour, did one stand out as the most degenerate? Did a few surprise you as white pills or positive cities?
God, let me think about the most degenerate. Well, you know, the white pill was actually coming to Seattle, Tacoma area, and seeing how many people thought like us. Because, I mean, I had almost 2 sold out shows there, which was, actually, Seattle has been my best selling city. That was a white pill.
That's funny.
Because because they tell you this whole thing like it's just all these degenerate lefties, but it's not. I mean, if you're coming to my show, you're not just quote unquote conservative. You're pretty right. Like, you know, you don't really get any more right than that.
I remember there was like 3 dudes right in front of me and Allison, and they were like young, like they looked like army dudes, but they were like, I could tell they were groypers because they got all excited when Nick Fuentes came up, and the one guy was like, and they were, yeah. So I just
so they're pretty. That was a pretty white pill. Let me try to think about. Why don't you go to the next thing? I'm going to think about what the most degenerate city was that I've been to that I just couldn't stand.
Okay, Anubis says that crafting gay children is on rsvpamerica.org.
Okay, I'm going to look that up. Thank you.
And Rowhouse says Leonarda's opinion on Kanye West's apology. He needs money or just pressure. Seems we never get an apology for anti-white comments.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know what it is. He's been threatened. I mean, there's no way. He's just, you know, you're not allowed to have those opinions. And also, like, this is why, you know, you don't have a black guy as as your mascot. You know what I mean? Because, and there's not even to say that it's just because obviously we've got Trump, right? He's totally compromised by the same people. It's a hard position to have. He's got kids. He's watching his prostitute ex-wife prepare his eldest daughter for the same kind of prostitution she went through. Like, what is she? You think she's going to have any kind of moral stance to be like, no, I don't want my daughter doing this? She doesn't think anything she did was wrong.
Yeah, I think there's probably like a ton of pressure on him.
He has no access, no power, nothing.
Okay, Don Browning sent $10. No message. Thank you for that.
Wait, this rsvamerica.org doesn't really work. Every time I click there, it goes, this thing is trying to steal your information.
You get the old bit defender warning or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, sketchy.
It's kind of.
Okay, this one was for Gavin. Who did Gavin see outside the bathroom at Pearl? Oh, yeah, the old bathroom thing. Does Pearl not having children change his view? Great show, LP. Love Leonarda. Love Gavin. Cheers. Yeah, sorry, guys. I used to warn at the start of the show that the guests may not be here for super chats. I used to actually say that, and then I just stopped saying it after a while. The RN should not have had a permit for that weapon in the first place. He participated in cross-dressing and ought to be considered mental. I haven't seen the cross-dressing stuff. I guess it wouldn't surprise me that much, but you might be thinking of that other guy with the 3 arrows tattoo, because that guy's a freak. Have you seen that? You know who I'm talking about, Leonarda?
No, I don't.
Some Antifa guy in Minneapolis. He's got like a 3 arrows tattoo right on his chest, and there's like Instagram pictures of him dressed up as women and stuff like that. I think maybe the super chat.
I did. There's a good stream that Black Pill recently did about the deinstitutionalization of America, and he talks about how these people really worked to take away institutionalizing people that are crazy. That's why we have to deal with them. But yeah, you can't even strip these people of the right to like vote or their gun rights when they're like dressing up like furries, because now that's not a mental illness. These things that before you would have been able to be like, hey, okay, fine, you can do that, but you don't get to be determining the direction of the country. We can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Stormy Heart sent $10. Gavin, you're one of the guys who helped snap me and my sister out of being brainwashed many years ago. Now we both have beautiful children. And Leonarda, you rock. Funny show. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jake sent $5. Jake Toonseth. Are the women in Albania as pretty and based as you? And is English spoken there? Sorry to be a gay simp, but I'm looking for a good-looking based wife.
Well, they are probably way more beautiful, actually, because they haven't been corrupted by the American food supply. They most of the time are more based. It depends on where you find them. Go to a village. That's where you'll find one. A lot of them do speak English. You'd be hard pressed, though, to get one to marry you, because most Albanians do not marry outside of being Albanian.
Based. But yeah, if you're gonna be a passport bro, you may as well go for a white girl at least, right?
Yeah, I would say definitely go to a village, but you're gonna have a hard time kind of working your way in there because they have all these protections against that. So the most horrible city I'd ever been to was St. Louis. I mean, obviously, worst, violent, absolutely horrible. Denver was the most disheartening to see just how many people were trooned out in Denver. It was insane. And Boston was the most disheartening to see how woke and gay and faggy they'd become, because the comedians got me canceled there. They were able to successfully get me canceled just by claiming racism. And I'm like, isn't this what this city's about? Like, so that's what I would say to answer the previous question.
Nice. Sons of Liberty Rising sent LP. Are you gonna have Flood on as a guest? I would say don't hold your breath, which no offense at all. We just had Gypsy on. We just had Paul Miller on last week. I don't know that much about him, but it's also like, if you look at the guests who I'm having on this show, they're people with like high profile. So it's not personal. It's just like, your favorite e-celeb with 2,000 Twitter followers is probably not getting invited unless I really like them. And I just don't know that much about him, but maybe someday. I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying it's not currently planned. I think that's everything. Man, I feel kind of bad. I feel like Gavin was upset.
Sorry, LP. Somebody submitted, I couldn't catch it. Somebody submitted a clean link. They did a super chat with the clean link for the book. Do you mind just DMing me that link?
Let me see. Did I miss one?
It was a yellow chat.
Okay. It's like, this is like a files cat. Yeah, I will send you that.
Thank you.
From Anubis. Cool.
Thank you to who did that, by the way. Thank you.
It was the same guy who sent all three Anubis. Okay. Leonarda, do you want to do some plugs? And we'll call it a night.
Sure. Yeah, you guys, I think the best thing to do, people go to my website, leonardaisfunny.com, and sign up to be on my mailing list. I also have premium content there. And then if you want to follow me on YouTube and Instagram, it's Leonarda is Funny. And on X is Leonarda is Fun E, the letter E.
Nice. And I put links in the description. The Leonarda is Funny URL is there. Her X account is there. I put Gavin's X and a link to Censored. So you can find those in the description on the video. That's going to be the show for today. Big thank you to my guests. Love both these guys. I was really glad we got to do that. Super fun. Thank you to everybody for watching. And I will see you guys later.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.